Yo, baby.
Why, what happened?
Oh, you didn't hear this week?
No, what happened? Did something good happen?
McDermott finally finished his transition.
Nice!
Yep.
Congratulations, Ember. We love you.
It's officially Ember. No, he doesn't have ovaries like he thought he was going to, but, you know, it is what it is. But we're proud of him, so congratulations, bud. We're proud of you. We're proud of you. I guess we'll hear Ember on the radio tonight. In Fort Hill playing Allegheny.
Is that tonight?
Yeah.
I think so.
First round of the playoffs. Allegheny's going to get stomped, 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
Homecoming was last week, right?
Yeah. And I do not plan on going to a homecoming game unless the boys are playing anytime soon until Allegheny is competitive, which is going to be probably never.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time. I thought that they were taking 6 wins away. Because it still says that Fort Hill's 7-2.
I thought I heard that they did.
I mean, I don't care regardless. It
really doesn't matter. It
mean
doesn't
anything to me.
In the playoffs, like they'll play good teams throughout the season, but they're not going to play those same teams in the playoffs. So there's nobody competitive to go against them right now. Yeah, in the playoffs. So that 1 year, Mountain Ridge should have won.
I mean, I guess
that was a close game.
What's the standings like? Is Mountain Ridge even? Mountain Ridge
have a guess.
Decent this year.
I didn't think so. For 1A, sure. It doesn't mean much.
5-4.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say. Yeah.
Oh, Boonesboro had a better record. But are they in the same? They won't play them in the playoffs, will they?
Boonesboro. If it's in the standings there, then yeah.
Well, see, you got Western Maryland region, Maryland Class 1A.
If it's all 1A.
I don't follow this stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know the standings. Channing had his last game Wednesday night.
How'd he do?
He did good. He did good. He's not getting the carries that he'd like to get, and that's
because he's a freshman.
No, it's the freshman team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I mean,
I thought he was on JV. I don't know why.
I hate to say it like this, but he's basically like kind of their best player. I mean, he's not their only player, but
yeah,
he's definitely their best player. He doesn't get a lot of the carries, and I realize why, because I never really pay attention to what Fort Hill runs. Fort Hill is very fullback heavy.
I heard about that.
He's not a fullback. So the fullback gets 15, 20 carries a game. He might only get 4 or 5, sometimes a little bit more. Just how they run their offense.
Yeah. So he's going to try to go
for fullback. So he's going to try to go for fullback next year on JV. Because he's still kind of small. He's good, but he's not super big. So I don't necessarily see him getting moved up to varsity.
No.
They're still going to be good, so there's no hurry to move him up. If they didn't have anybody, that'd be a different story. But that sophomore class that's ahead of him, that's Carson Bender's on there.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that kid's a stud.
Yeah.
He's freaking awesome.
He's the fullback or the running back?
Yeah, he's not the fullback this year. He's one of their halfbacks, but he'll more than likely be.
And he's on the JV team?
Carson Bender, he's been on varsity since freshman year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's that good. He's a hell of a ball player and a nice kid.
Yeah. Well, good.
So, but anyway, Channing, he did end up getting 2 touchdowns. He ended up it was a close game against Mountain Ridge's JV.
Yeah.
It was 12-12 at the half. We ended up being able to score a long touchdown, tie right before the half, because they were running. Mountain Ridge almost went up 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
That was a risk. And then Channing had a punt return for a touchdown to give us the lead. And then we ended up winning like 30-12, I think.
Nice.
But,
so I would like to catch some games. I'm not real big in the football scene in this area just because people disgust me. You know, the way a lot of it's ran and the dirty shit people do. And
yeah, I only go because the kids play. I wouldn't go.
The parents and the coaches and the people just around the football in general in this area.
I started laughing because the refs make bad calls. Refs make bad calls every day. And you should hear some of these fans. They're just, you're ruining for these kids.
Well, not only that,
but make it sound like the refs are paid. Ain't nobody paying no fucking refs off. Not for a freshman football game.
Exactly.
And it's usually moms moms that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yes.
You get the occasional dad who's also in there, but not usually. It's usually moms that don't really have a fucking clue.
No, usually the dads
Pee-wee,
are
I'm going to be honest, I think Pee-wee's probably worse.
Pee-wee is toxic. I'm
so glad that I don't really have to. Like, I still have to go to Pee-wee because of Connor and the girls. Yeah. But I'm kind of in the background because I'm just the granddad.
Well, I know
it's not Channing and Caden anymore.
Orland has been dealing with some drama and stuff.
Oh, the Saints. They got all kinds of drama.
My God, dude. That is just crazy. But no, I think whenever Channing starts moving up, especially whenever he's on the varsity team, I would like to see him play.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he'll do well. As long as he stay healthy.
You think Caden is going to get back into football?
I'm hoping. He enjoyed it. I mean, I don't think Caden's going to go to college and play football.
Right.
I don't think he has that kind of drive for it, but he's played football since he was 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
This is the only year he hasn't played.
Yeah.
Other than his last year on Pee-wee, because that was COVID.
Oh, okay.
So he would have played.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping he's got to get his grades up, or else it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to matter. But yeah, I'm hoping 2 more years. Even though Allegheny's not good, I still like seeing him out there on the field.
Absolutely.
He's a good kid. He hustles. That's Caden. We always used to say with Caden and Channing, if you could take the two of them and put them together, you'd have one of the best players in the league, because you have Caden's good attitude and hustle, and Channing's athletic ability.
Yeah.
Right, because Channing does have just a natural ability.
But the ego brings him down.
And I've helped him with it. Luckily, living with us for the last several years, I've helped him deal with some of that ego that I told you before, like when he got moved up to the majors in baseball, and I told him he got drafted to the Pirates, his first question was, "Do you know what round I went in?" That was Channing.
Yeah.
He's still, don't get me wrong, he's still cocky.
Yeah.
And that's okay to some
What round
degree.
did he go in?
Fuck if I know. They don't tell you that. I think I might have told him the last round just to bring him down a notch.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But the other thing I noticed in this area too, and I'm sure I know it happens all over the country, the grooming of these kids at a young age for when they get to high school. All right. I'm seeing it as young as probably 6-7 years old. Like the grooming that they're doing, like outside of football practice, they're spending the entire year.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, if the kids enjoy doing it, it's actually extremely good exercise. Like the stuff that I've seen. I know a lot of, guys I work with, friends of mine, they're having their kids work on their agility. They're making their body stronger. And it doesn't seem like they're overdeveloping them too quick. But I mean, that it still worries me a little bit that could happen.
It's tough because there's like a fine line. I like seeing it because, especially nowadays, kids, all they ever want to do is play video games.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not put that extra level of skill into a kid? Because you'll see it grow. But I guess it's really, what is your purpose? I mean, you're trying to turn your kid who's only going to be 5'9", and 180 pounds. You're trying to turn him into a pro, or do you just want him to enjoy it, but to have be good?
Some of it.
Where do you draw the line? Because at the same time, those same players who end up going pro and say, you know what, if that person hadn't driven me, I wouldn't be here right now. So it's like, then you hear that, and it's like, okay, maybe we all should be pushing our kids.
There are others, though, that seem like they do it with their kids for more or less the bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when their kids get to high school, like they started grooming these kids and training them when they're 5, 6, 7 years old, and they get to high school, it's bragging rights for them. I don't see a whole lot like some of them. Yeah, they're like, that's my boy, and it's like, all right, come on, bring it down a notch, you narcissistic bastards.
Just a little bit.
But I mean, it's not all bad. Like I said, it's good exercise. Gets them out of the house and away from video games.
So I guess
real news.
I guess we'll talk about the election. I mean,
we'll talk about.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, the real news that happened this week. But I just want to say, Fun to stay at the YMCA. I've been playing that song for this whole entire week. I love it.
No, it was. I went to bed because they started talking. They're saying we may not have any results until
it was
tomorrow or later in the week, and I had to get up early anyway.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I was feeling good when I went to bed. He was catching up in Pennsylvania. Georgia, he had a nice lead, and North Carolina, I think it was kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up, I saw your texts, and I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I looked up and I saw that they called, and I was like, holy shit.
Well, I knew the moment he got, it was like 1:30 in the morning is when they finally called it, but I knew the moment I think everybody was just sitting around waiting for Pennsylvania to get called. Mm-hmm. And I know that's probably the state.
Pennsylvania is definitely the biggest one, I think.
There, Wisconsin and North Carolina, I think, are where they spent the most of their time. Pennsylvania the most, because even the what was it?
Georgia, he already had a pretty big lead.
Yeah, and I think it was either the governor or the senator said of Pennsylvania said whoever is able to win Pennsylvania will win this election.
Yeah. So, and I think most of us knew that going in those swing states, because you knew which ones were going to go red and which ones were going to blue.
Yes.
Even though there was a little bit of concern in Iowa earlier in the day.
Do you know why though?
No, I don't. Because I just heard a little bit.
This famous pollster, I forget what her name is, but her track record is like usually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did hear.
She calls it right. This. Well, she was way off because he ended up demolishing her in Iowa.
But it was close at first, wasn't
it? Where? Yeah, it's because of a lot of the states counted their early votes first.
Early ballots, yeah.
And she was leading that state in the early votes, but
of course.
But he was also leading Virginia for a long time. He almost flipped Virginia, and that surprised the shit out of me.
That would have been nice.
But I knew, so Pennsylvania, when he got that put him at 267.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was over then because Alaska always goes red, and that's 3. That would put him at 270. They just didn't call it.
And you knew one of those other swing states he was going to take at least one. I don't think anybody thought he was going to sweep.
I couldn't believe he swept, but it was Wisconsin. When they called Wisconsin, that's the one that put him over the 270.
Okay.
And then he ended up getting Alaska later.
I was asleep. What did you do when you saw it?
Oh, I went in, woke Caleb up. I woke Ashley up, and I started playing YMCA. I was pumped. We were talking in the group chat. It was like me, McDermott, Jake. Crabtree kept like waking up and going back to sleep, and we were all fucking pumped, and that's why.
Here's what pisses me off, and so Ember, fuck you, because we could have been doing a live podcast,
no shit.
And to get that results would have been fucking awesome.
You ain't kidding, but that's whenever.
Fuck you, Ethan. You don't watch our episodes, so you're not going to see this anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's whenever McDermott was like, he said they were partying at work, dancing and singing, and
should have called off.
He was so pumped, and that's whenever he put in the group chat, "Hey, if Trump wins, let's all send dick pics."
Yeah, I didn't think we'd actually see a picture of his balls.
Yeah,
they were weird looking.
They were weirdly smooth.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, good job with the shaving, I guess. Yeah. It's doing good. But
so I mean, obviously, I'm happy about the results. Yeah. I believe he'll. I think it's a good thing. We'll see what the left does. The next 4 years are going to be interesting because most people aren't buying the whole racist, xenophobic, homophobic.
And the people spoke. He won the popular vote.
And it's more than 50%. It's not half and half, more than 50%.
Yeah. He won the swing states because what the Democratic Party was selling, the people weren't buying. And it's just they didn't cater enough to the middle class working people. Here's my issue. Okay. Well, number one, I have loved nothing more than seeing the ears of the white dudes for Harris.
Yeah.
While their wives are getting pounded in the bedroom and they're waiting for them to get done. But I feel
by a black guy.
Exactly. The ones I feel bad for.
Let me know when you're done, honey.
I got a pot of coffee waiting on you. I think
she's gonna win Vermont.
The ones that I feel bad for are a lot of the women. Well, first of all, the women who are shaving your head, like they're shaving their head for making a statement about and standing up for themselves. And it's like, I feel bad for you. Well, number one, I don't feel bad because now we know who not to. Like the single men know who not to go to.
Yeah, it sucks because you can kind of tell by looking at some women if they're Republican or Democrat.
Well, most of the Democrats, they're blue hair, green hair, or something like
not
that.
Actually, women.
Oh yeah. But
that was transphobic. I apologize.
We know now who not to go out there. We see you're crazy, but I feel bad for them because they were brainwashed. They were brainwashed in thinking that if Trump won, all their freedoms and rights were going to be taken away, and that is so far from the truth. It's actually the complete opposite. He wants it just like basically the Biden and Harris administration wanted it. It's in the power of the states.
Yeah.
And there are states that do have a ban on it, but it's not.
There's also some states that will allow you to go all the way up to viability.
Right. And it's
past viability. And they say no restrictions. So there's two ends of that spectrum. So the abortion is the first one because that tends to be the biggest one because most people are on either side. Some people are kind of in the middle.
Yeah. But I did notice that the abortion thing made a big divide between men and women in this election.
So the one thing I will say, I don't know when this interview, it had to have been recently. When did the Jets play the Steelers? He was at that game.
That was probably 3 weeks ago.
Okay. And he was being interviewed and he asked about abortion. Or he was asked about abortion in Florida.
Yeah.
And they got shot down. But he was saying he thought 6 weeks was too short. He thought it should actually be longer.
Yeah.
Now, once it didn't say, he's not going to make that decision.
Right.
He thinks it should be longer. Right? Because 6 weeks is a short period of time. I mean, my thought process is, unless you're raped or whatever, if you're having consensual sex unprotected, I'd be getting myself tested every once in a while. Yeah, well, I wouldn't wait 6 weeks.
After 6 weeks is usually whenever, well, I guess 4 weeks you would know, like, if it's going by your period or whatever. But
yeah,
I mean,
would have had a missed period by then.
6 weeks is usually about the time that you would make your first doctor's appointment or get an ultrasound done,
just like to verify that you're actually
right.
pregnant.
So yeah, maybe it is a little too short, but I mean, I'm just the way I see it is, I don't think. And I had this conversation with Ashley, and we kind of see different sides of it. But I try not to make this a conversation between me and her because it kind of divides me and her also. And I mean, the thing is, it doesn't affect me and her lives.
So let me ask you then. So what is her side?
Her side is she believes in the original Roe v. Wade. Like, yeah, if you just want to be a whore and just get an abortion because you don't want to protect yourself and you don't care, then you shouldn't be the one having the abortion. You shouldn't be allowed to.
So is that what she's saying as well?
Well, no, yeah, that's her thought on it. Is like, she believes that in circumstances you should be able to do it.
Agreed.
Especially if it's like or a very young girl, like very young. Like, I mean, there's even a case in South America where a 5-year-old got pregnant, and it's because her body, I forget what the term is, but it was like overdeveloped. Yeah. Okay.
So we're saying like if a 13-year-old girl were to have consensual sex,
right?
Which is nothing's consensual at that age,
right.
But let's say it was with a 13-year-old boy,
yeah,
and they had sex. So we're saying that they should be allowed to have an abortion.
Yeah, if you're too, or like,
no one's ever really proposed that.
But the thing,
I mean, okay, I could see that one.
The thing is, like, yeah, your family may not agree with it, but you are also the one who chose to open your legs and not protect yourself. And if you wanted to have sex that early, then maybe you should have talked to your parents about getting you on birth control.
Birth control, condoms.
Yeah, they might be pissed off at you, but that's the decision you have to make.
One thing
you decided to make that decision.
Well, that's one thing I've learned that I think our generation is getting better at, or at least parents now are getting better at. You can't control everything. You can try.
Yeah.
I can sit here and tell you, you will not have sex.
Right.
You will not do underage drink.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That just makes them want to do it.
Exactly. It makes me want to do it more. Where I'd rather, if you're going to do it, I know I can't actually stop you.
Yeah.
So by showing that I'm more accepting of it, first off, you're not going to want to do it as much. And then if you do, you're going to be safer. As an example, Jeremiah's going to a party. You already know we caught him, what was it, last year drinking.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was driving, but he had his car.
Yeah.
So he asked me today if tomorrow, after he gets off work, if I can drive him where he needs to go. I would much rather you do that.
Absolutely.
I asked, I said, will there be alcohol? Yeah. Like, well, just remember what we talked about. Take it easy.
Yep.
Right? You don't know what type of person you're going to be when you're drinking. If you find yourself being a binge drinker who's just putting down shot, if you might not want to drink. But if you're able to socially just have a couple drinks, have fun. Who am I to tell you not to do that when I did it?
Right. And that's the thing. Like, that wasn't really a conversation that our parents had with us. It was they didn't want us drinking in the house underage. True. I mean, I found that out the hard way when I had 3 of my bottles poured down the drain. Thanks, mom and dad. Oh, it was like Hypnotic and Bacardi.
See, I didn't do all that. I just drank at parties.
Yeah, well, I
didn't really drink until much later.
It was like when I was 18 and 19, I was on a binge, and
I was a little bit of a binger. I didn't just have a couple when I'd go to party. Well, especially as I got more comfortable, we'd start playing drinking games.
Yeah, liquor,
and that turned. Well, mine was just beer. I really didn't drink much liquor, but I would chug because we'd play these damn drinking games, and I'd be wasted and like. But back to the reason I'm asking is because I think abortion is such a hot topic. I don't know if we'll get there. But we do need to have more conversations with people who don't disagree with us, so we can find that middle point. Because there is some hard or far right people that say
no abortion, absolutely
no abortion whatsoever, even in the case of a rape,
which is wrong.
But I get where they're coming from, right? From a religious point of view, a life is still a life, right? Charlie Kirk gives the example of if you take a picture of a sonogram of a fetus that was conceived from rape versus one that was conceived from a loving relationship, what's the difference between the two?
Right.
You can't tell the difference.
Exactly.
That's a valid
But it's something. What they're saying is what that girl has to go through.
Already went through and has to continue to go through.
Yes.
I think that there should be a choice.
In that particular situation, yes. And then like Ashley brought up to me, like, what if the baby, what if the mother is in danger?
If the mother's in danger, yeah.
And like she even made the point, like, if they have say and I don't even know if that's possible to tell if they're going to have like Down syndrome when they're born or something.
I think you can do tests.
And if if they're perfectly healthy, there's perfectly healthy humans, adults with Down syndrome and with autism that are living a wonderful life. But like if there's so many health problems that's going on and they are given a slim chance to live or maybe only a year to live or something like that, but it's putting the mother's health at risk by giving birth, then I think that's a situation where you save the mother because the mother's going to live for a long time, whereas the child isn't.
Yeah. What is called, it's a new terminology called pro-circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm for that.
I'm for that also, but I also don't believe that because you need to protect yourself. If you're of age to where you can consent to sex and you are willing to open your legs and not protect yourself, then what say do you have?
Well, and this is why I said you need to have more of the conversation because one could sit here and say, like, because I can tell you right now, if I was 18 years old, I had a one-night stand with some chick, we didn't use protection, she got pregnant. Yeah, and if she says she's going to do an abortion, I'm going to be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't disagree with the fact that when you have some girl who's, this is her 10th abortion in the last 3 years.
Right.
Where do you draw the line? Are you able to put a number on it? I don't think you can do that from a legal standpoint.
And the other thing that bothers me a little bit, but it's the ones who say, if you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion on the abortion thing.
See, and that's my other point.
And the reason why is because, okay, say you're married. Right. And it's the woman, the wife that's saying that. Okay, well, what if you married this woman because, one day you did want to start a family? And I'm sure before you got married, anybody, before you get married, that conversation needs to be had before you get married of whether you agree to have kids or not. Because if all of a sudden the woman says, like, you shouldn't have a decision. Well, what if that is your goal in life, is to start a family.
Yeah.
Then, and then like the point is, well, then just leave them. Well, what if you are madly in love with this person? What are you sacrificing then? You're going to sacrifice your relationship or having a family?
So here's something I started thinking about as far as if you don't have a uterus, you don't have a say, or men should not have a say in a woman's reproductive rights. And I do understand that point. My only real question is, it's not just you, though. Like, yes, you are the one carrying it. Can't deny that. However, that thing that's now inside of you, that's not just you.
Right. It's created by
that's
both.
part me now, too. But to say that I don't have a right in that, I don't know that I totally agree with that. And I know
you couldn't have
anybody
that me.
Anybody who hears that is going to be like, "Oh no, I don't care what you say. I'm the one who has to carry it
for 9 months." And
listen, that's just the way God made it.
But you wouldn't have that if it wasn't.
I don't think it's not about taking away a woman's right to choose. I think it all comes back to the whole women's rights, and it's not about that.
And a lot of them are saying that they still don't believe that women have equal rights, and I still make the case of what rights do I have that you don't? And a lot of them are saying like, well, the government's telling me what what I can or cannot do, or like forcing me to do something with my body, or forcing me to do something that I don't want to do. And it's like, men don't have to go through that. And I'm like, well, they have in the past. It was called a draft. They were forced to go, join the army or go to war, and they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a say.
Yeah, I just think the conversation with abortion, it needs to happen between the two sides, and they need to. And I don't know if we'll ever get there because it's such an art. You can't throw arbitrary numbers at it, and it's such a polarizing topic. I don't know if we will ever be able as a society to actually come up with the answer, because I think most people can agree with that it shouldn't just be okay all the time whenever. Nobody agrees with that. And like for those ones who sit here and say, well, no one's sitting here having abortions all the way up until like it's getting close to the baby's due date. That's not true.
Well,
it does happen. Not often.
You know what's crazy though?
Not often.
Since Roe v. Wade was overturned, abortions have almost doubled since then. So laws got stricter, and so I saw the one when the poll, it was like a census of abortions, and it was like 2021 was like a little over 600,000, and that's right before Roe v. Wade got turned over. Last year, 2023, there was over 1 million abortions.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
the only issue that I have with the abortion, and I guess that's the one big problem with it being on the states, is the potential that if you live in a state that bans abortion, you go to another state, you could potentially face charges. I don't agree with that.
How do you face charges if you're doing another state, though?
I don't know. I guess because you're a resident of that state.
Well, and then I
don't agree with that.
The only other crappy thing about that is it may end up making you have to spend more money because maybe you're going to an out-of-network doctor, one that your insurance doesn't cover, and that's also why Trump is. Well, I don't know about the abortion stuff, but I know for like IVFs, he's trying to get Medicare and the insurance companies to pay for them, so that doesn't come out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, I don't think that there is a clear-cut answer on abortion. Like, who is the authority to say whether? And if you're a Christian, you believe God is that authority, and it says in the Bible that all abortions.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say I don't think it's
real answer.
I don't think you can say it's just a woman's choice in every single situation. Majority of situations, sure.
Yeah,
but I don't think you can say it's a woman's decision only in every situation.
Right.
So somehow, maybe one way or another, we'll find an answer. But I don't think we will anytime soon. It's such a political topic,
and there's
something that so easily divides left and right.
And there's so many people in the world. We're never all going to agree on the same thing.
True.
And
at the end of the day, there's some people who it would answer my question. Yes, it should only be the woman's decision all the time.
Yeah,
and no matter what, you're not going to change their mind.
Right, and that's just there's no one,
which is why we have a democracy. That's why we vote.
No, it's a constitutional republic. Remember that it's not a democracy.
So I mean, there's other issues. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I mean, there's other issues like the immigration stuff, LGBT,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Stuff.
I mean, if you're watching this and you're a liberal, which I'm sure if you're a liberal, you probably don't watch us.
Watching us.
Nobody's taking your rights away. You are going to be okay. You're still going to be safe. And here's my thing on it. So, a lot of the people who voted for Trump are your 9 to 5, 5 to 7 days a week, hardworking families, middle class, and mainly men. Let's be honest, it's mainly men. Now, do you think that those men, a lot of them with Christian values or just good morals, do you really think he would have voted for somebody who was going to take away the rights of his wife? No. Somebody that he loves very dearly? Hell no, he's not going to. And I know like his wife isn't, part of the LGBTQ community or, stuff like that, but you're all women. He's not taking your rights away. Just keep, like, as far as like the trans stuff goes, he said, love who you want to love, be who you want to be, but keep it out of the schools. Keep it out of the schools.
I mean, that's really it's really that simple. And then with the immigration stuff, we're a country full of immigrants.
Right.
No one's saying we don't want immigrants here. In the right way.
Yes,
come in the right way, legally. Pay taxes like the rest of us.
Well, they even
and live the American dream. We have a lot of freedoms, but it's not always glorious.
Well, Trump was listen to the Trump on Joe Rogan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the part where I didn't hear whether he said it's in there now or he's trying to get it to be, where an illegal immigrant can join the military and go through basic training, and then they can be I forget the word he used, but like certified as a American. Like you go through join the military and go through basic training and pass, and you are an American citizen. And so I don't know if it's in place now or he's trying to, but that's what he was talking about. And what's wrong with that? If you are able to contribute to this country or serve your country,
would help out our military.
Yeah, and if you can be an upstanding citizen, one who is not going to commit crimes or degrade our country, then absolutely, work for your country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, congratulations to Donald J. Trump and his family and his fucking Avengers of a team that he's got going for him.
Avengers. I'm excited to see who he puts in what place and just what they do, because I think this will be a different 4 years. I'm hoping, because he's not. It felt like he was by himself. He's definitely got a more competent vice president. Absolutely. I really like. Did you listen to JD Vance's episode on Joe Rogan? Me either.
I've never heard Mike Pence talk.
Yeah. JD Vance spoke really. I like JD Vance, and what I also liked about him is he's not privileged. He comes from a rough childhood, was raised by his grandma. And
very good at talking. Very, like, the debate that he did against Walz, he crushed him. Every interview he crushes. He could be a potential future candidate, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Trump did appoint his first cabinet member, the chief of staff, that first ever female chief of staff, that Susie Wiles, who, from what I understand, she's well regarded and well respected within the political.
I don't really know much about her. I'll be honest.
She worked with Reagan's campaign.
Okay. Well, the election did get me a little excited. I've been starting to pay attention to the news a little bit more. I've always been this way about the news. You have to, even on the conservative side, it's so diluted. You only get what they want you to hear, and it's very biased. And that's Fox. NBC, CBS,
even though Fox is Republican, that's what we are. They are still biased.
Yeah, they are. The one that really kind of surprised me that I was watching during election night, I was watching yesterday, was ABC. ABC wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
they were kind of on. They were kind of back and forth. They weren't really. I was on CNN for like a couple minutes, and
it's bad.
It's bad. It's right in your face. All you have to do is go watch another that's not Fox, and it's right there.
I still have a bad taste in my mouth about the debate that they did, that David Muir and Lindsey Davis, and fact checking Trump the entire time, not fact checking her.
Yeah,
they left a bad taste in my mouth. So
yeah, they started, because I flipped to them after Kamala Harris gave her concession speech, which was okay. I've heard better.
I think it was more of a riding off into the sunset kind of thing.
But they were like, "Oh man, is she?" They were just singing her praises, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Here's the thing: I kind of feel bad for her just because she was not ready for that. She was thrown into.
She probably wouldn't. If they had a primary, there's a good chance. A lot of people are saying she would not have been the Democratic nominee.
No, I think it honestly would have been Kennedy, and there's a chance I would have voted for him.
That's what I'll tell anybody. I mean, I would vote Democrat again. I voted for Obama.
I did too. But yeah, he just pay attention to who he starts appointing as it's like 15 different secretary positions of each department that he appoints for. It's like 100 total, but watch those big agencies who he's pointing there, because it'll tell you where his campaign or where his term is going to go. And I love there was a guy on CNN, anchor, and he blew everybody's mind. He made Anderson Cooper like speechless. Like they shut up, and this is a mandate from the American people. They overwhelmingly voted for him because people are tired and they are worn out and can't afford anything. And this is a mandate to, all right, we put you in this place because of what you said, and we believe in you. But we have to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
We, the people, and the media, and your influencers now, everybody has to hold him and his cabinet accountable and make sure they're doing what they promised they were going to do.
It's really this simple. If they do something well, acknowledge it.
Yes.
And if they don't do something, call them out on
it.
It's really that simple.
Yep. So, yes, I agree. I want Trump in there. Do I absolutely love him? No. I know he can be a dick, and sometimes he just needs to shut the fuck up.
He does. My issue is I don't like the fakeness because, and we've talked about this before, prior to 2016, I don't see people love Trump, but a lot of people
loved Trump. Well, they started hating him because
as soon as he started running for president and he didn't go Democrat, which he used to be, they turned on him and started spewing all this stuff about him being sexist and racist. Because I started thinking about this whole idea that Republicans are racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever. I started thinking, like, when did that actually start? Because it hasn't always been like that.
No, because people who voted for Bush weren't voted like that.
I started thinking, like, back to Bush's presidency, because I was able to vote in his second term. I wasn't old enough because he got 2000, right?
Yeah,
2000, 2004. So in 2004 was when I was able to vote, and it wasn't like that. I mean, a lot of people thought he was dumb, but I don't even remember who went against him.
Yeah, I don't either. But that wasn't
it wasn't like
they were spewing.
No, it wasn't. It was It was casual. It was very formal. Obama's campaigns weren't like that.
No. Well, pre-2016,
it wasn't until 2016 that
have you ever
just 8 years. This is just over 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So here's my thing for any older Republicans or liberals: all this rhetoric you're hearing now about Republicans, well, they're all racist. That's obviously not true. This conversation just started 8 years ago when Donald Trump ran for president.
Yeah, because and he even said that he switched over to Republican in the early 90s. So
see through the bullshit. That's all I'm asking. Well, see through the bullshit. I'm not saying that everything on this side is perfect, because it's not.
Have you seen the clip of him on The View pre-2016? They loved him.
They loved him. Kisses, hugs, talking about him running for president.
And then within a year,
and now they hate him. I used to watch The View.
Oh, I didn't. I can't stand them.
Whoopi Goldberg. I love her movies.
Yeah.
Right? I still do. Rosie O'Donnell, prior to her whatever. Yeah. I like Rosie O'Donnell.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Joy Behar.
Disgusts me. Joy Behar disgusts me.
What's her face? Who's probably more the Republican leaning.
The blonde.
Hasselbeck.
No, Elizabeth.
Yeah. I used to watch it because, like, if I wasn't working until late and Tammy and I were both here, we would watch The View. I used to watch Oprah.
Yeah.
From time to time. But I would never watch some of these shows now.
No, hell no.
Sad.
They're disgusting people. They really are. Like, the lies that they believe. Like, I'm telling you, they were brainwashed.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's probably the one who disappoints me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know her personally, obviously.
Yeah, but
just growing up watching her movies. Like, I love every movie I've ever seen her in.
Yep.
And I would still watch them. I mean, Sister Act and Sister Act 2 are two of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I love those movies. Ghost.
But yeah, it's just to spew that kind of hate and whatnot when it's all based in lies, and you're mishearing it. Like the whole grab him by the pussy thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's okay. He said, when was that, first off?
Yeah, exactly.
And he just happened to get recorded. You know how many guys talk like that?
Exactly. All guys.
Guys are pigs.
Yes.
Guys are pigs.
We are pigs, and that's how we talk.
But
that's how we talk amongst ourselves. That's not something we're going to go and say to our wives. That's not to our mothers, especially. Yeah. I mean, that's just not, like, he was recorded in a private setting.
And I get the idea, like, because the Democratic might say, okay, sure, guys are pigs, but this is he's not very presidential, right? This is who you want as your president.
Because he's not a politician.
I think most of us who vote for Trump, we're tired of that whole president. Because every year prior to this, we talk about these politicians come and they give all these promises and don't do anything. It reminds me of back in school when you would have class president stuff.
Yeah.
And they promise all this shit and
nothing ever happened. Nothing.
So I think that's why those of us who voted for Trump, if you want one to put in the bank that I think we can all agree on, that's probably one of the biggest ones. I'm hoping for some of the Democrats that makes them understand a little bit more. And we wanted something different.
More in touch with the people, because he spent more time around the people. Whereas politicians, they spend their time in either the Congress or their ivory towers.
Yeah.
They're out of touch. And that's why I think Ronald Reagan did so well. Because he was a movie star first, then became a politician, but he was more in touch with the people.
Not now. Now they say he was a terrible president.
Who?
The left.
He was an amazing president.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about a term that I recently learned, which was kind of clever, but it stems from another term. You've heard of mansplaining, right?
Yeah.
And what is mansplaining? I mean,
it's, whenever a man has to explain everything to you.
Yeah, explains everything, and it can tend to be a little patronizing. So the best example I have for like mansplaining is you just automatically assume a woman
doesn't know
what they're talking about. Like if they need to check their oil, you assume like, make sure you put it in park first there, hon.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. They tend to reinforce gender stereotypes with terms like babe and things like that, or we make the comment about how do you know, what do you do if the dishwasher's not working? Slap her on the ass and tell her to get back to work, right? But there's a new term called shelaborating. And I thought it was so clever. I wanted to talk about it.
I haven't heard that, but
I just heard it a couple weeks ago, and it's
basically the same thing.
It's basically the same thing. Shelaborating is taking a simple yes or no answer, maybe, or just a brief sentence, and turning it into some long speech.
Like, I need a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
And you want to...
Well, here's the thing.
Shelaborate.
Yeah, they want to shelaborate.
I like that. Right. My wife doesn't do that. I get short answers, and that's what I want.
That's great. I wish I could get short answers, right? And that's not just my wife. That's just a lot of women in general.
It is.
It can be, the idea with shelaborating is it's sometimes too much.
You're giving too much information.
The problem with shelaborating kind of goes back to that whole idea of when a woman tells a man her problems, she typically wants to tell you for you to listen, not for you to fix it, which we totally get.
We're not wired that way.
We're not wired that way. We are fixers.
Yes.
So you've kind of put us in a position, we almost have to start every conversation with, hold on. Are you telling me this because you need me to listen, or are you telling me this because you want my input?
Right, exactly.
That way I know what mode to go into, because I feel over the years, especially with a lot of the different training and stuff I've done, I'm actually a pretty good listener. I'm a good empathizer. But it's harder when it comes to like people you're in a relationship with, because there's history. You know that person's bullshit. Yeah. And so you're able to kind of call them out a little bit. So it's kind of like,
oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
And she's good at that. But that
doesn't always make you a good listener.
I'm a good listener where I hear what you're saying. I hear everything that you're saying. But as soon as you start talking to me about your problem, I immediately go into fix it mode.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an automatic response. And sometimes to our own fault, we end up kind of downplaying it. Like, oh, this isn't that big of a deal. Why are you...
Oh, no, I pump Ashley's head up. I pump her head up so much.
But it's
especially
tough.
whenever it comes to, like, issues at work. I pump her heads up so much so that she starts running her mouth more.
It's tough because it's one of the biggest issues that couples have is just that simple communication that turns into resentment and hurt feelings. And it doesn't have to be all that.
No.
You just have to work on communication.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Most arguments are usually from just some simple miscommunication. It's not usually because anybody did anything wrong.
Yeah, and I know a lot of them say, men need to work on their communication too, but, it's not not every situation, like, we're going to hear you the first time. I know, like, there's a lot of times that Ashley starts talking to me about something, and I'll literally be staring off into space, and 3 minutes will go by, and she's like, hello, and I'm like,
checked out the conversation.
Well, it's because, and I think guys do this a lot, because you've ever seen like those videos where it's like guys just constantly running through things in their brain, but they're silent, they're quiet, and they're just thinking about everything.
And I don't mean to I do it with you and McDermott if you talk about something that's not of interest to me or I know very little about. I will sometimes check out the conversation. I don't want to, but it's like, and that's when I'll just kind of be there, like, all right, so moving on. Because I'm out of it, and I don't want to, but I
noticed that like last week or 2 weeks ago, me and him were sitting here talking about something, and you kept trying to like touch us and shit like that. I'm like, stop.
Oh, that was just me being funny.
Well, no, because you weren't in the conversation at all. You were just trying to like do some funny shit. I don't know, but like, hey, ladies, when a guy's sitting there being quiet, either A, they're literally not thinking about anything.
We're not really thinking.
It's just time for them a moment for them to turn our brains off for a minute to give us a break.
And when we say we're thinking about nothing, we're not. It's not just a black space. We're thinking about. When we say we're not thinking about anything, I mean, I'll speak for myself. It's unimportant things that I don't want to share with you.
Yeah.
So if I tell you nothing, it's not like it's a secret, but I might be thinking about what I'm going to have for
list of things that you have to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I might be thinking about what I'm going to have. I don't even know if it's going to be that serious. It's going to be like, man, I haven't had chicken wings in a while.
Yeah.
Right? Or like thinking about, man, my fantasy football matchup. Like I can't be Jamar Chase, tied the record for most. Like I'm like, it's not something that I feel that I need to share because if I share it with you, and maybe it's a vulnerability thing, I'm worried you're going to judge me. Like, what the fuck?
Well, either
that's what you're thinking about right now.
Either that or because we're the fixer. Maybe if we say what we're thinking about, like, we don't want you to feel like you have to fix it.
Yeah, I don't want any input on this. If I wanted input, I would have shared it with you. So, like, I might even be thinking about, like, when I was really into playing Destiny, I might be sitting here like, man, I wonder when we're going to eat. I wonder what time I can get on and play Destiny tonight. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. That's nothing I want to share with you.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, well, if you want to play Destiny, just go play Destiny. Well, you just fucking ruined it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know if you're like this, but do you ever spend so much time getting so hyped up for something that by the time you actually go to do it, it's not as you're kind of over it because you've already hyped it up so much in your head.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. I did get that way with Destiny a couple of times.
Destiny did that with me. I think about it all day.
That's Destiny's fault and not our fault.
Well, it's kind of my fault just because I would think about it all day long.
Yeah.
And then by the time I'd log on to play, I was like,
well, that's because
I don't even know what I feel like running right now.
Well, like with Destiny, because you're like, all right, brand new like campaign or brand new season. You're going through all these things in your head of all the things you're going to do. And then when you get to do it, you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do first. And now it's just like,
I don't know what to do in Destiny. I've finally have had a little bit more time and I wanted to play a video game the other night. And I almost just loaded up Destiny, and I'm like, no, I'll just download another game. I finally downloaded Final Fantasy 16 because I hadn't played it yet. And I'm only in the beginning part. What I will say about Final Fantasy 16, though, it's definitely rated mature, and I did not know
I heard that it's actually a very good game.
I think it's a good game. Like I said, I've only played like 2 hours so far, so I'm still in the beginning part. It's very action-oriented, but you're still gaining levels. The story's easy to follow for the most part compared to some of their last couple ones.
Yeah.
But bloody.
Yeah.
And, like, fucked up. I mean, you don't really play Final Fantasy, so I'm going to spoil a little bit. Like, the dude's kid brother gets murdered.
Damn.
In the beginning, like, first half hour of the game.
Damn.
And, like, you see blood, and you can hear the kid not really screaming because he's like a summon. He's like a phoenix.
Yeah,
but you can hear the bird kind of, and it's like, and I'm sitting here like, I thought I downloaded a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Like it's dark.
Wow.
So I'll probably play it this evening because, like I said, I'm done all my schoolwork.
Well, you know what felt really good to me? So I took it was probably 4 months away from Destiny, maybe 3 months. Like Destiny just started like the episode stuff instead of seasons, and it was like 3 acts for the thing. And I got finished like the first act, and then I stopped playing because I was just bored. And
I've slowly played less and less over the last.
Well, so much stuff happened. So then last week I booted up Destiny because I saw there was a new dungeon. I was like, oh wow,
the new dungeon. I've seen one of the boss fights.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool. The dungeons usually are pretty good.
Yeah,
they never miss with them.
Dungeon is really good. The exotic mission from the last episode is really good. Plus they finally brought Icebreaker.
Yeah, I saw that.
And for the dungeon, I haven't even got to run the dungeon yet.
Apparently Icebreaker's pretty tough right now too.
Yeah, so but I loaded it up and like there's so much stuff that I have to do. And I felt like whenever I first came back during Shadowkeep and missed all of Forsaken and all that stuff, I was like, I have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah. Like there's so many exotic weapons that I don't have. Armor. Most of the exotic weapons that I don't have are raid weapons, which that's hard to do, but I've slowly been working my way up, and like the exotic mission, like you have to run it like numerous times to get the different secret chests, and there's stuff you have to figure out on your own without the game having to tell you. And it's like that's the exciting part for me, is the little secrets that you don't know about and you just stumble upon. That's what I enjoyed about the game, and it was like, damn, this feels good having so much to do right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably play Destiny again at some point. I just don't know when. I don't think I'll ever grind it like I used to. The last time I really grinded Destiny, well, I mean, I played consistently during Forsaken.
Yeah.
Shadowkeep, I played religiously.
Yeah, I did too.
And then even Beyond Light, I played a lot. And then Witch Queen finally came out. I was excited. Didn't really play it. I mean, I played it. I beat it, but I played it a lot.
Witch Queen was a really good expansion.
It was. I mean, it's the best expansion since Forsaken.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I don't know. I think Final Shape beat Witch Queen.
I don't know, but yet it still doesn't do as good. And I didn't only play it on one character. I didn't play it on any legend.
I did it on 2 of them.
Yeah.
I thought the campaign was awesome.
Fuck, what was after Witch Queen?
Oh, Lightfall.
Yeah, Lightfall.
That was ass.
The campaign wasn't bad though.
No, the campaign was awful. It was.
A lot of people don't agree with that. Like, no, the characters that were added sucked. But the story behind it, the missions were cool.
Well, and they admitted that
and Strand was fucking awesome.
Strand is awesome. And they admitted that it was just a filler campaign to get to the final shape.
Yeah.
But
I played that on all 3 characters, and I don't remember if I beat it on Legend on all 3 characters.
I don't know.
I did on 1, but I definitely played it on all 3 characters.
Well, I'll say this.
The final boss fight against Callus was hard.
It is hard. Well, I loved what they did with the final boss fight with Final Shape, because you're facing the witness and all that, but
it feels like an end of the story if you didn't do the raid.
Yes. And but with Miyamuna, the place for Lightfall, it's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful how they put it all together, yet it's so empty.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there. No,
there really
it's just buildings.
In there. No, and I'm not saying I like Lightfall as an experience. I just the story wasn't. I kind of liked it, and the missions were fun.
They introduced a main character who they kind of killed out of nowhere.
You're just transphobic because
I'm talking about the other one, the one that's not trans. I'm talking about the guy who they killed.
Rohan.
Yeah, Rohan or whatever. Yeah. But it's like, you should know that name. He was a main character, and they just killed him out of nowhere.
And you never really got a chance to really even know him.
Exactly. No, you get to know the other retard. And not even because he's trans. Character. He's just stupid.
He's just a stupid character.
He's my absolute least favorite character in the whole game. But
we got on this just because that's the shit we think about.
Yes.
When we're thinking about nothing. So we probably also don't have a lot of women who watch this. That's what we're thinking about.
Other than Mom, you are a woman.
When we say nothing, that's what we're thinking. It's something that it's not that it's a secret, but I don't want to share it because I don't need any input.
Right. Or it's not important enough to share.
It's not important enough to have a conversation about. Yeah, it's just.
But we never talk anymore. Well, do you really feel like talking about what I'm going to put on my bologna sandwich? Probably not.
I've heard people put ketchup on. Like, I don't know if I would like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, ketchup is good on it. I do like it.
I'm not a big bologna person.
I love bologna.
So I saw something the other day that got me thinking, and I thought we could rate NFL throwback jerseys.
Oh, okay.
So what we're going to do, I want to start with our teams. I have the Titans on here just in case McDermott was going to be here, but so we can look at. They don't have a lot
of uniforms. Did you see the Ravens jerseys last night?
Yes, I did see the reveal of that new helmet. I like the helmet.
I like it.
That was cool. All right.
I'm gonna say that was the Bucks, wasn't it?
All right. So here, let me share for our participants, any of our viewers. This is the Broncos.
Yeah, we kind of. So I really liked the 80s and 90s. I love that simple look, and it was a lighter blue. I like it more as a throwback now, with like updated,
not as the main uniform.
Yeah, like updated stuff.
They wore it there a couple weeks ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's freaking awesome!"
Yeah,
with the light blue helmet and the orange. But when they came out in the mid to late '90s with that darker blue and the orange and white,
like what's down there in the bottom right,
I really like that.
Especially when they brought out the orange in it, and I love the new Bronco look. Like that, that probably is my favorite logo.
Yeah,
of theirs.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the uniforms now. I love the snow-capped helmet. The all white.
I like some teams. A lot of teams have the all white. I like the all white.
I love the snow-capped helmet. However, I don't. It's supposed to look like the Rocky Mountains, like those zigzag lines on the shoulder. It doesn't look like mountains, and it doesn't remind me of the Rocky Mountains. I like the color scheme of it's. I don't know. Do you think it's the one down there in the bottom middle? Do you think that's darker blue, or
based off of this picture? I don't think so. I think it's the same blue
It's just that with the old logo. Yeah. And I'm not digging the. Well, I guess that plays. It's like the stripe on the arm. I'm not digging that.
Yeah, I don't like the stripe,
but I do like the. I don't know. It just seems to. It seems to look more college than NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the old ones like this old one right here looks like Clemson.
Yeah, I don't even know when.
Didn't even know this was one.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
And then you had some of those older teams. Yeah, they had these very plain looks.
That's our mustard.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had that. I would have thought you were the Steelers.
Well, it was probably within the last 10 years. They did use those throwbacks, and it was ugly because it's mustard and brown. So it looks like a fucking chili dog.
Yeah. Well, I do like chili dog.
Oh, I do too.
All right. So out of all, so you like what they have now, except for, you said you liked this when they first transitioned to the darker blue and orange.
Yeah. Well, the bottom right one, it was like, during the, I guess, last few years of Elway.
And Terrell Davis.
It was that bottom right. That's when we transitioned to the new logo. And they brought in I think it was mainly blue jerseys. Mm-hmm. And then in the mid 2000s, they brought out the orange jerseys.
Yeah, it was
brought
mostly
the orange
the
crush
blue.
back. Yeah. And that was my favorite uniform. The orange crush jersey with the blue helmet with the new logo. That was my favorite.
Okay. All right, here is the Giants. Giants have been around for a while, so they have a lot of different variations. I do not like the tan pants. The 100-year anniversary they have. Now, my wife thinks they're cool looking. The tan.
I think they do better with the gray pants.
I like the gray. I kind of like all four of these last ones here. I like the NY, but then I also do like they've worn it a couple times this year. This throwback with the red trim,
but it makes them look too much like the Bills then.
It does, but they always had this look. The uniform does, but then you throw in the dark helmet, and that's how you can kind of tell them apart.
I like the spelled out Giants. I like that logo better than the NY, to be honest.
I like the NY with this one. When they first brought this one out, this was during Kerry Collins, Tiki Barber, Strahan. I like that look. There was only a little bit of red on the helmet. I don't think there was any red on the jersey at all. It was just blue.
Are any of these the current ones?
I don't think so. I'll search on here so we can show our fans.
That's fine.
Let's do 2024.
Yeah, that's what I typed in. Oh, so it's got the red stripe down the helmet.
Really? Trying to find a good picture.
Yeah. Did you do the same thing? 2024 New York Giants uniforms.
2024 New York Giants. I think I typed in jersey.
Oh. It didn't pop up for you like it did for me. I've never even seen them wear this year.
What, this? Yeah, they were.
Yeah. What's... Oh, no, it's not that one. Yeah, I think it's this one here.
Here we go.
So, have they... How long have they had that red stripe down the middle?
What, of the helmet?
Yeah.
They've had that for a long time.
Okay.
I
don't know. It kind of just looks like what they've always worn to me.
Well, but this one has but they're doing the white pants. They don't wear the gray pants anymore, I don't think.
See, and that's what I think makes them
I like the gray paint. I like the nice simple look.
I think that makes them look more like the Bills, because the Bills do the pants.
Yeah.
I think the Giants, I always remember them with the gray pant, and that's how, like, I mean, obviously you can tell by the logo, but the color scheme's the same as the Bills to me.
Yeah. No, so no, I'm not a big fan of this one.
Yeah, I don't like the tan pants.
I would say, yeah, either one of these two. I still do like the Throwback. Either one of these two.
Now, the old Throwback, the one that here with the tan pants, I do dig the helmet. The helmet seems kind of cool to me.
The helmet's not bad, but it's not the Giants.
And there's no logo.
It looks like, I don't know, it kind of almost looks like the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's got the same
not that
design.
I don't like the helmet, it's not the Giants.
Why does it even have that design? I mean, I think it looks cool, but I don't even know what it's supposed to represent.
Yeah, it's hard to fucking say a Giant.
Who is that player? Who's number 5?
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Oh, okay.
All right, and there's no.
Hey, Oilers.
They haven't changed it that much. I mean, since they left the Oilers, I think Tennessee's kind of kept their uniform pretty much the same.
Well, I think now they go mostly with the dark blue now, whereas when the Titans first came it was more the powder blue. Because I do remember the Super Bowl between them and the Rams. It was the powder blue. Yeah. And then they obviously have the white. And I think it had
a little bit more navy blue, like on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Not compared to this photo right
here. And now they use more of the dark blue. But I love the old Oilers uniform.
Yeah.
I think they look fantastic.
Yeah, they're not bad at all. I don't mind these one bit. So I also found on this was NFL.com, the ugliest uniform.
Oh my god, I hated this Buccaneers.
So the first one is the old orange Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, it was like, well, number one, I don't like that logo at all. That logo is stupid.
It's
looking.
So stupid. I mean,
I feel like I'm going to eat at a all-you-can-eat seafood buffet.
It reminds me of like the Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Not a pirate.
Yeah, not a pirate. So I definitely when they talk about changing up your logo.
Oh yeah,
color scheme.
Yeah, colors. Well, that's like
the flag and
that's like Tennessee orange.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and I mean this Buccaneers they got good when they changed the uniform.
Yeah,
which
it did.
Was funny.
Yeah, because they won that Super Bowl against the Raiders. Well, I love the new logo. The Browns are always ugly.
Cutting off here. Yeah, see, I think I'm on the. Yeah, the Browns. I mean, the Browns logo is so simple and there's nothing to it. I don't know if I've ever seen a Browns logo that I actually like. Or
what's the thing? Aren't they supposed to be like? Isn't it like the dogs?
I don't know. I don't really know what they are. See, here's the thing. They have
a mascot
logo. Well, I think it's that, but then there's something that looks like Elf.
Elf.
Yeah, hold on. Cleveland, because we didn't put it in the middle of their field.
Mascot.
Yeah, Brownie the Elf. Okay, so he is an elf. So I guess that's where the name Brown comes from.
Okay.
Brownie the Elf.
Served the team before his de-emphasis in the 1960s. And in recent years, he has returned and become one of the most visible symbols of the team's.
I guess they got rid of him because, I mean, an elf, like, that's not a very tough mascot.
Right. It looks like
the
whole Irish.
The whole dog, like, I don't think any part of them is associated with dogs, but somehow they got
the dog pound in the stadium. You know, that one section, like they call the fans the dog pound or whatever. I think they should use the dog as a mascot on their helmet. They need a picture, a logo on their helmet.
Alright,
it's a dog point.
But it gave me the right results. Dog pound name for Cleveland Browns dedicated fan section originating from a concept by former Browns player Hanford Dixon, who encourages his teammates to bark like dogs. Okay, so that's where that came from. So I figured it was just like you said, like, so the Redskins used to be the Hoggets, right? Remember them back in the 90s?
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was a group of guy fans who would dress. They would wear like pig noses, fat, and they would dress as women, like in big moo-moos, and whatnot. They were the Hoggets.
I think the Browns need to choose either go with Brownie the Elf, with which I don't suggest, or go with the dog. They need something on their helmet. They need a picture, a logo, something.
The brown and orange are ugly colors.
I agree.
But the Cleveland's been around so long, I don't think they'll ever change.
No,
and they have to change their name.
And it's that shade of brown, like that. It just looks like diarrhea brown.
Yeah,
you know.
So I've never seen a Cleveland Browns uniform that I actually like.
No.
Just me. They ranked this Carolina Panthers, which, I mean, they've done their uniforms haven't changed much over the years. They're just probably the patterns, like on the pants there, or like on the shoulders.
I mean, I love their logo
a little bit. I like the Panther as a logo.
I like their color. That color blue. It's like what
it's like a turquoise, maybe.
Yeah, or not really a teal. Yeah, I guess maybe a turquoise.
Like a turquoise teal, I would say. Yeah.
But I love the
color. And then
the
black and the gray.
And I'll tell you what, like, I went to Charlotte when me and Crabtree went to that game, and the color is everywhere. On the tops of their skyscraper buildings, inside the stadium. I mean, it's just blue. Mm-hmm. That color blue everywhere. It's gorgeous down there.
Yeah, no,
I don't hate their uniforms.
I don't really hate this one. I was kind of surprised that they had this one on the list.
The teal and black.
They give a little bit more of a description, but I just want to look at the actual uniform.
Yeah, the teal and black. Cool. No, of course.
Okay. No, this one I completely. I
the red jerseys.
The red jerseys. They just don't work. There's nothing. It's just straight red.
Yeah.
You didn't even put anything else. Well, it looks like fucking practice jersey.
At least put some like blue,
or white.
Yeah, blue piping or like a blue neckline, something.
Yeah, just plain. It looks like a fucking practice jersey.
Yeah.
So I 1000% agree with this one. The Packers.
Oh, that's right. That is Packers. Old.
I would have said Steelers, but I was Brett Favre here.
Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, these are fucking ugly. Some of those old, but I mean, these were back before.
So I wonder when they adopted green.
Yeah, I'd say. Well, they had it in the '60s because they had it for the first Super Bowl.
And the Packers were always in Green Bay, right?
Yeah. So I would say sometime probably shortly before that.
So I'm wondering if maybe because of the Green Bay, that's where the green came in. Because this only worked for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
And the whole it's green and yellow because you got Green Bay and then yellow cheese.
Yeah. And black and white, you just associate or black and yellow, you associate every Pittsburgh team. Yeah, like every Pittsburgh sports team is black and yellow. Yeah. Which,
black and yellow.
I'm surprised you know that.
I just remember hearing it when they won last Super Bowl like a decade ago.
I do give it to Pittsburgh because I like that every sport they look like unified,
consistent.
Whereas you got Baltimore and we have orange and black with the Orioles and purple and black with the fucking Ravens.
Yeah.
Make
up your fucking mind.
Philly, you got the red and blue, and then the green,
and then green and white,
and then the Sixers are red and blue.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this package, but it's just a throwback. I don't know what would make even someone wear this.
No, I guess back in the day it was.
Who is this?
That's Kyle. That's the Broncos mustard.
Okay,
that's when he was with the Broncos.
Very tart, that one. They had the old 80 49ers jersey on here.
I didn't love them.
The gold and the red. I mean, but they were classic.
They are, but they were complaining.
I mean, obviously they don't hold up now, but I mean, they have something like, look at the shadow on.
I do like that.
The 8.
I like the helmet.
I like the helmet.
I think the red jersey's too plain with white pants.
Maybe you could have had like more white or maybe some gold in there.
They do the white pants now, right?
As far as I know, they do.
Yeah, and I think there's more black.
Or do they do the gold pants? I do like when they wear the gold pants.
Yeah.
I do like those.
And I think there's more black in the uniform now, isn't there?
I don't know. A lot of teams have incorporated more black in it.
Well, they got white with the red stripes on the shoulders. You see that a lot. Well, okay, so they got the white stripes on the shoulders when they wear the red.
So if you throw that white stripe on that, I'd actually say that I like this.
Yeah, and I think they went a darker, like
it's a darker gold,
more vibrant gold with that.
Yeah, this gold.
I don't know where the fuck that came from. Don't ever do the white helmet.
Yeah,
San Francisco, ever.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. All right, what do we have next one here? So they have. We talked about the Titans. They have this Vikings one on. I don't hate this version of the Vikings one with the white coming down the side.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I really like this one.
Yeah, because all they wear is just a purple one and then a white one, right? Yeah. I like it. I mean, it's their color. Like, what else are you to do with it?
It's simple. And I don't hate the red. For the Texans, I prefer the navy blue.
The navy blue or the white.
That red's not bad.
It's not terrible. It's too much with the red pants. Yeah, the red jersey with the red pants too much. Do the dark blue pants. Why not?
Yeah.
I like their jerseys now. It's like dark blue. Let's say navy.
Yeah, and they had like a black one there.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
Oh, dude. Have you seen the Commanders black jerseys?
Yes. They're not bad.
My God. I think they're
and this is what, I thought that they were talking about. So they're talking about like this all black look for like teams like the Cardinals and the Lions.
I like the Lions all black. I don't like the Cardinals all black.
They're really not that different other than blue and red, though. Think about it.
Well, you can see more of the blue in the Detroit ones.
True.
And I'm pretty sure they had a different. Didn't they have a black helmet to go with it or no?
I don't remember a black helmet. Yeah, the Lions isn't bad. The Cardinals is okay with black.
The Cardinals are just, their colors are just kind of.
They've always been weird. I mean, because for the longest time, I remember like they're all white.
Yeah, they
form with just a little bit of hint of red for Cardinal.
Yeah,
and then red jersey with the white pants. That was kind of the stay for them for a while, and I was never
when like Kurt Warner Fitzgerald was there.
Yeah, so the black, I mean, at least adds a different scheme to them because that's really all they have.
Yeah, but it just, why'd you add the black? It's not really your color scheme. Oh, this is
this the Eagles?
Yeah, that's the Eagles.
Yeah,
right back. It
kind of another one that's ugly.
Well, yeah, it's kind of.
I don't dislike the colors, but
it's too much like the old school Chargers.
Yeah,
or is it the new Chargers?
It's the new Chargers.
Well, because remember, like when Tomlinson was there, they used that dark blue,
navy blue. They don't wear that anymore.
Before that, did they do the powder blue?
I don't know
because they do the powder blue now.
Yeah.
With the yellow, and that's just like that.
Yeah, it's confusing, and I don't dislike the colors. I just don't like where they're at.
Yeah,
it's the design is weird. Same weird design on the helmet.
Yeah, just
all
the
shoulders is with shoulders.
Just there.
Yeah, I just think it's weird.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hated those jerseys.
The lime green with the Seahawks.
I didn't mind their old uniforms, but they needed an update. I like what they wear now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dark blue with the hints of green in there.
The lime in there is pretty good.
That is fucking ugly.
Yeah, and I like the updated logo on the helmet. It's good. I mean, the Seahawks have had a good logo for a while, but I'm not a big fan of this all lime green. It's just too much of that color.
Like I'm going to a rave.
I think this is the last one. Old New England.
Now time
this isn't even the old New England.
Yeah, the one from the 80s and 90s was like a guy like a Patriot, like
hiking
a
like
ball
in the center. Yeah. That one was stupid looking. This one was good when it first came out, but compared to what we have now for the Patriots, what we have now is much better.
Yeah. Is Bledsoe?
Yeah, it's Drew Bledsoe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate them. I mean, it's just patriotic. It's, red, white, and blue, and some silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. The Jets are just the.
They're definitely. I thought, like, I found this list online. I thought there was definitely other teams they could have. I'm
trying to think. There's some other ones that have done some weird designs too, but I can't really think of them right now.
You gotta go outside. We'll go tell them. You just headbutted the chair, dumb.
I'll tell you who should never update because I think they just look badass is the Raiders. Stay with what you got. Don't change it up because it's just badass. And I think Max Crosby needs to stay there his entire career because he embodies.
He wouldn't even look good on another.
No, team. He is the black and white that that line like that. From the movies, that linebacker that is just drooling and he's going to pound you into the ground. That's Max Crosby.
Yeah. Mommy's upstairs. Go tell her. I think she's here. I could have sworn I heard her come in.
I think she did.
So, all right. So I wanted to end on one last thing. We're getting up. We've been here for a little while.
Okay.
I thought of something funny the other day. Weird names to shout during sex.
Anything that's not mine.
Okay. Yeah. Agreed. Anything that's not yours.
Jesus and God, I will accept.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay, so you're saying I'm saying what names? What can you say? Like as the guy, you're hitting it, and what names
shouldn't you say? Anything that is not. Well, see,
your own in that case would be kind of like,
that is weird.
All right, get it, Danny. Get
it, and I don't want to call her mommy. That's just weird. When I know there's guys that like to, a lot of girls that like to be called mommy. I know guys, not me preferably, a lot of guys like to be called daddy, but I don't say her name.
I wouldn't mind being with a Hispanic girl and being called Poppy.
Poppy is cool.
I wouldn't mind that one.
I wouldn't mind that.
Hi, Poppy.
I'll say Ashley's not really that much of a talker.
I don't think most women are.
Well, she'll say stuff every once in a while. Like, she's definitely a mooner.
Yeah.
When I'm not hitting her head off the wall. I love doing that. Well, especially whenever, like,
I feel like you're the type, like, if you hear her head hitting off the wall, it gets you hard. It's like, gets you, like, ready to nut.
I'm not going to answer that question.
That's a yes.
I'm not going to answer that question. No. No, I love the fact I'm such an asshole. I'm such a piece of shit. In the past, actually, it was when McDermott was living there, because Caleb's room was what my office is now, which is directly on the other side of the head of our bed. And when her head, late at night would hit the wall, I just wondered how many times it woke him up.
So that gets you off.
That's not what gets me off. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I'm fucking your mom.
But I just thought it was funny. Like, that's one of those things that goes through my head. It's like, am I waking him up?
He's like sitting there trying to sleep. He's like, you two stop. So
McDermott said he could hear it too, and it wasn't even that wall.
Yeah. Can you stop? I'm doing something right now.
Hey, patience. No, patience.
So I have a list here. So obviously shouting your own name is kind of weird. Shouting your ex's name would be weird.
That's probably the worst thing you
that's not even just weird. That's just a bad thing to do, especially if they know who that person is.
Yeah.
Family member's name would be kind of weird.
But what if their name is the same name as your family member?
That's not a possibility. I would never date someone.
I'm just saying that's the thing. I would our sister's name Sarah. Oh, I did date a girl named Sarah.
Yeah.
That only lasted a month.
You're fucking weird.
That only lasted a month.
I could never date someone who shares the same name as someone I'm related to. Because in my mind, not that I talk, I wouldn't be like...
You did one that was close. What was her name? Like Shandy or... Close to Shannon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I could never do it. Other names you shouldn't shout: Captain Planet.
Why?
Captain Planet.
Oh, you're calling her Captain Planet, like?
Yeah, that's the name I'm shouting.
Oh yeah. No.
Captain Planet would be a little
Captain
weird.
Planet, no.
Patrick Mahomes.
Why would you do that?
That'd just be weird. Sounds like Kermit the Frog a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, you probably shouldn't say Kermit the Frog either then.
Kobe.
No, I like that. Especially when you pull out and back shot. Kobe. Fuck yeah. So I think that is acceptable. Especially there's a lot of girls who like back shots.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Fatso.
Or when they're turned around, never mind, getting too graphic.
What, right in their face?
Yeah, no, right in the mouth.
You
Kobe 5-foot shot.
Oh, and then do this one jump street like chest bump. Yeah, Fatso.
Oh yeah,
I mean, know that one.
Any term, a derogatory term is
okay. Waldo. Like, where's Waldo?
Depends on if you're trying to find something.
Maybe.
Like trying to find the G spot. Where's Waldo?
It's not always there. It moves, I think.
I don't think it does. I'm pretty good at finding it. I know where it is. Well, at
the
least on
her or the Iterus.
No, on her, I know where that's.
Are you talking about the G spot or the Iterus?
The G spot.
Okay. Any fish whatsoever when you're having sex.
Maybe not. Ashley's favorite animal is a dolphin. She thinks they're beautiful,
and then when you try to stick it in her butt, she goes, ah.
I mean, she does. She says, But she says they're beautiful and majestic, so that may be a compliment.
A dolphin's not a fish, though.
It is a fish.
Dolphin's not a fish. Oh my God, you McDermott. Please tell me you don't think a dolphin's a fish. Porpoise, it's a mammal.
Oh, whatever.
Got bones. Don't call her by her friend's name.
Yeah. Well,
that's kind of like X.
Well, Ashley has two friends. Well, I mean, she don't really talk to them much anymore, but she had two friends that both have the same name as her.
Had the same name. Well, that's kind of fun for you because you could say it and be thinking about the other person if they're hot.
Wait, do you think about other girls while you're fucking?
No, I'm just saying you have that option now.
It's true.
I don't know anybody else who has the same name as my wife.
Well, the other two weren't very attractive.
If they weren't attractive, then it doesn't apply. I'm just saying, if they were attractive, you could have fun with that.
It wasn't like that.
You could turn the lights off. You could doggy style them and just be a thing like that.
Well, if I thought about them, then I'd probably go soft. So,
Hitler.
That could be a compliment.
You think?
Hell, Hitler.
Diddy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I have to say it in the right context. Martha, why'd you say that name? The stupidest fucking premise in a movie.
It really is. It was awful.
Why'd you say that name?
That's also like an old name. I'm not going to use that.
Beetlejuice?
Actually,
say it 3 times. I only say it twice.
Ashley might like that. She's into horror. And in fact, here in half an hour, her and her sisters and mom and her niece are having movie night. And they're watching Beetlejuice tonight.
Just right before you come, just be Beetlejuice.
Could you imagine the look on her face?
It's quiet as shit. You're hitting. You're like, oh baby, I'm about to come.
And then as you go, you go Beetlejuice. Especially if you're about to go at the same time, and immediately it just ends for her. She doesn't get off.
She's like, what the fuck was that? All right. And then the last one is kind of just a really fucked up one. Your kid's name.
Oh. That's fucked.
Oh, shit.
Okay, now, roll that back. What if it's something a girl shouldn't say? And
it's a junior.
It's a junior.
Yeah, that's where she's going to have to do daddy.
Yeah, I have to do daddy. Or babe, or baby, or...
Oh, baby.
You know what?
It would definitely ruin
think
the
about
mood
it.
of you.
Other than Jesus... She does use my name.
Kim uses my name
a good bit. I'm not really a talker.
I'm not a talker.
I'm more of like I make noises, but
yeah, I make noise, but I don't really talk.
Yeah. Unless I'm like really fucking into it and I'm just like, and it's lasting a while. That's hot for me, and I'm just like, I get dirty then.
You get dirty. Hey, what you like that? You like that, you little bitch.
Well, I don't throw a little bitch. No, because
you
then
like that, you little whore.
Well, like I'll say something, and then that's whenever like I start grabbing her by the hair, and
they do like that. They do like it when you're rough.
It took me a long time to realize that because I wasn't so sure if she would like it or not. And it turns out she does. Likes it a lot. And that makes me like it more.
What, the hair pulling?
The hair pulling. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she doesn't like to be choked. She'd probably punch me.
The choking's a little much, but the hair pulling is nice because there's a little bit of pain to it, but not too much pain.
Yeah. And there's a lot of girls that like to be choked, but I think that's more of like
yeah, that's like
not
erotic
dominant. What's the opposite? What's the opposite of dominant? Like
dominatrix.
No, the opposite of dominant. Whenever you're one's the dominant, the other one is the
submissive.
Submissive. Like if they're really submissive and they like, I think those are just girls with daddy issues or something.
Probably. I think some of it's instinctual because I mean, if you go back to primitive times, like it wasn't like there was no marriage, you weren't in a relationship, it wasn't consensual. Yeah. Like animals in nature, they're raped on a regular basis.
Yeah, they're raped.
The female, they just eventually give in.
Yeah, multiple sexual partners.
They don't go and cry about it.
Yeah,
that sounds really fucked up. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying.
What he's saying is, you get raped and then you go and cry about it. You need to stop.
That's not what I meant. Never mind. We're canceled.
You already did. Taking that hole, bud.
Go cry about it.
What a way to end.
So, all right. So, another solid episode.
Yeah.
When's Ethan back?
I don't fucking know. Sometime maybe the end of this month. I don't think he's doing the state game. So, probably either Are we doing a episode on Black Friday?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
I'll be here.
So maybe Black Friday or the Friday after?
I would hope so. We'll do a Christmas episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For those of you who maybe don't get that far, don't really even pay attention to this part, we're still doing our NFL Pick'em challenge.
Yeah.
Right. We do it every week. If you're not sure what that is, it's a little it's kind of like a fantasy football type league that just the three of us do, where we pick players every week and just kind of tally up points. It's just a game we created. It's just for fun, but at the end of the year we do a kind of like a punishment, and that's where the whole mousetrap thing with McDermott came in, because he was supposed to get tased, but he never came up with a taser.
Yeah,
he was last year's loser.
So we decided not to do pain. Well, I guess we're still kind of doing pain.
A little bit of pain, but nothing that could cause like severe harm.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Hot Ones challenge.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Hot Ones challenge. As of right now, I'm losing. If it wasn't for the prop bets, I'd be winning because
They're the one who wanted to change it.
Well, I did that because you guys didn't like my parlays.
Yeah, the parlays were hard.
And I'm okay losing this.
The parlays
are horrible. They're hard to come up with.
Well, they're hard to win.
They're hard to win, and I would just basically take their projection and up it a little bit, which made it a little bit harder.
I think the prop bets are a lot easier to hit. And I mean, it's still anybody's game.
Yeah. I mean, if I hit a couple in a row, like if I haven't decided if I'm going to bid 10.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you
bid 10, because I can tell you right now, usually we hit our locks. There are times when we don't. Our underdogs are like 50-50 for the year, but like we hardly ever hit our highest scoring and lowest scoring.
Well, and the thing is and just like last year, I'm usually outscoring the both of you.
Yeah.
It's the prop bets are making the difference this year.
Right. And
if you take those away, I'd be winning.
And that's the thing. Like if you bid 10, that could just negate all those points that you
just won.
So that's how I end up coming back last year. And I mean, we could go 2 weeks in a row. Me and McDermott don't hit our prop bets,
and then get 100 points.
Exactly. So
anyway, what we're going to start doing on tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, did we get on TikTok yet, or we hadn't heard anything?
I haven't gotten access
We're going to be live
yet.
on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to be live on YouTube. Check us out. Maybe we'll each put something on Facebook, see if we can get some people come here. It's not going to be a long episode. It's just us really making our picks.
Yep.
With it being a Saturday, if McDermott's able to stay on a little bit longer and we have any viewers, maybe we can stay on and talk a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll answer questions that you guys have, or, if you guys want to make fun of us for our picks that we make, you know.
So we want to make it more interactive. Next year, we might do the punishments like every 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So that way it's a little more fun, because that's the fun part of it. You guys probably don't really give a shit about the picks we make.
Well, they love the punishment, because that clip got a ton of views on it. So yeah, we'll do a punishment every 4 weeks. Nothing major, just little stuff here and there.
Like a hot ones one. I was thinking we could one of us, whoever loses, has to wax their armpits. Is an idea I thought of. That's painful, but that's not going to cause you severe pain.
Yeah, that reminds me of the 40-year-old virgin.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson. All right. So hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow live.
And we'll see.
At least a couple of you.
Hey, we should tell Mom. Maybe she'll hop in.
Maybe she will.
Yeah. So.
All right. See you next time.